Hello everyone, this is JV and Dr. Devendra Kumar Gora. Today we are going to discuss about communication. What communication is? Communication is simply the act of transferring information from one place, person or a group to another person, place or group. So this process involves number of information, ideas, thoughts, feeling and emotion through speech, signals, writing and behavior that are actually exchanged to another person or group. Every communication involves one sender, a message and a recipient. This may sound very simple, but communication is actually very complex subject. The transmission of message from sender to recipient can be affected by a huge range of things. These includes our emotions, the cultural situation, the medium used to communicate, and even our location. The complexity is why good communication skills are considered so desirable by employers around the world. Accurate, effective, unambiguous communication is extremely hard. So, defining communication, this is imparting and exchanging information by speaking, writing, or using some other medium, successfully conveying or sharing ideas and feelings. As this definition makes clear, communication is more than simply the transmission of information. The term requires an element of success in transmitting and imparting a message, whether information, ideas, or emotions. A communication therefore has three things: the sender, the message, and the recipient. A sender encodes the message, usually in a mixture of the words and non-verbal communication. It is transmitted in some way or other, and the recipient decodes it. This is basically the process of communication. And of course, there may be more than one recipient. The complexity of communication means each one may receive a slightly different message. Two people may read very different things into the choice of the words and body language. So it is also possible that neither of them have quite the same understanding as the sender. In face-to-face communication, the role of the sender and the recipient is not distinct. The two roles will pass back and forward between two people talking. Both parties communicate with each other, even if in a very subtle way, such as through eye contact and general body language. In written communication, the sender and recipient are very much distinct to each other. So now we will talk about number of categories or types of communication. There are a wide range of ways in which we communicate, and more than one may be occurring at any given time. The different categories of communication include verbal communication and non-verbal communication. Verbal communication is the form of communication in which message is transmitted verbally by speaking to someone else. Directly, communication is done by the word of the mouth and a piece of writing. So, verbal communication is also further divided into two parts: oral communication and written communication. Oral communication, in this communication, spoken words are used. It includes face-to-face conversation, speech, telephonic conversation, video, television, voice over internet, or everything. Communication is influenced by volume, speed, and clarity of speaking. There are number of advantages of oral communication. It brings very quick feedback. Otherwise, when we are writing someone and the feedback we receive that takes time. In face-to-face conversation, by reading the facial expression and body language, one can guess whether he or she could trust what is being said or not. What are the disadvantages? In face-to-face discussion, user is unable to deeply think about what he is delivering, so this could count a fault. Written communication. In written communication, written sign and symbol are used to communicate. Written communication message can be transmitted via email, letter, report, memo, etc. Written communication is very common form of communication that is used in the business and corporate sector. The advantage of this written communication is messages can be edited or revised. Written communication provides a record and backup. A message enables receiver to fully understand it and send appropriate feedback. A written communication, there are some disadvantages of written communication because it does not bring instant feedback. Non-verbal. This is the second time of the type of the communication. First one was the verbal, second is non-verbal. Non-verbal communication is sending or receiving the wordless messages. Like in this particular process, we use our gesture, posture, body language, tone of the voice, and facial expression. So this particular use of symbols are called non-verbal communication. Non-verbal communication is all about body language of the speaker. This non-verbal communication have following elements: the appearance of speaker. We can actually get what kind of clothing the speaker is having, hairstyle, neatness, the use of cosmetics, what kind of surroundings are there. The body language also actually expresses something, and simply the sound, there is a rise and down in the sound of individual, it actually also give a kind of message. Levels of communication. The first one is intrapersonal, means when there is a communication into the mind of the individuals, that is called intrapersonal communication, means there is a communication within the human beings. It is the basis of your feelings, biases, prejudices, and beliefs. Examples are when you make a kind of decision what to eat or wear, when to think of something, what do you want on weekend, and blah 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 blah. So this is a kind of mind exercise when individual is thinking in his mind. Interpersonal communication, when there are the presence of two people, they are actually exchanging the information to each other, that is intrapersonal communication. It can occur between the student and teacher, between two business partners, between patient and doctor, blah blah blah. Similarly, the small group communication, there is a group of 5-7 people, they are discussing something, means exchanging the ideas, interpretations, and solving the problems within the organization, that is called a small group communication. The examples would be a group planning to surprise a birthday party for someone, the team work together on a project. 1-to-group communication. So it involves a speaker who seeks to send the information motive to the audience. Examples is the teacher is the best example. He speaks number of things standing in front of the class and keep speaking. A preacher, a speaker, and an assembly of the people in the auditorium. So these are the example of 1-to-the-group communication. Mass communication. This is the electronic or transmission of the message to the general public. Outlet called mass media includes the things like radio, television, films, printed material designed to reach large audience. A television commercial, a magazine article, hearing a song, all these are the part of the mass communication. So what are the barriers in the communication? When the message is encoded by the sender and it is supposed to be delivered to the receiver, but when it is dropped to the channel or medium, there are number of the problems when occurred when the message is transmitted to the receiver. There can be physical, emotional barriers, right? So these we have to actually overcome all these barriers using our communication skills. So that is all about the communication, the type of communication, the barrier of the communication. In the next class we will discuss about the bibliographical procedure.